Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're getting right into the biology of ALS. We're going to break down what's actually happening inside the nervous system when this condition takes hold.
And our goal is simple, really. It's right there on the screen. Because, when you understand the what and the how behind something like this, it can really help dial down the fear that comes from just not knowing.
All right, so let's get into it. Before we can really grasp what goes wrong in ALS, we first have to appreciate how things are supposed to work. Think of a healthy nervous system as this incredible, finely tuned communication network that coordinates every single move you make. It's like a perfect chain of command, right? You think, I want to pick up that cup. That thought becomes an electrical signal. That signal zips down your spinal cord, out to a nerve, and bam, your muscle contracts. It's this beautiful, seamless process that gives us precise, controlled movement. And tragically, in ALS, this is the exact system that starts to fail.
So who are the main players in this whole communication chain? Well, it really boils down to two key messengers, two types of nerve cells called motor neurons.
Okay, this chart really breaks it down for us. You've got your upper motor neurons. Let's call them UMNs. They're the commanders up in your brain, the ones who come up with the plan and regulate things like speed and force. Then you've got the lower motor neurons, the LMNs. They're the messengers on the front lines, taking that final order from the spinal cord and delivering it directly to the muscle fibers. What's so crucial to understand is that the specific symptoms a person experiences really depend on which of these two groups is breaking down. Now, when these neurons start to go, it isn't just random chaos. Nope, it's more like a cascade, a really predictable, tragic domino effect that unfolds one step at a time. And here's that sequence laid out. First, domino 1. The motor neurons themselves start to degenerate. Domino 2. Because the neurons are failing, the electrical signals they carry just fade away. They can't reach their destination. Domino 3. The muscle loses its connection to the nerve. This is called denervation. It's literally been disconnected. And the final domino to fall? Without those signals telling it what to do, the muscle has no job. It starts to shrink and waste away. That's atrophy.
And this is such a key point. It's not the muscle's fault. The muscle itself hasn't forgotten how to work. It's like a perfectly good engine that just isn't getting any gas. The fuel line, the nerve, has been cut.
So one of the real signatures of ALS, what makes it so distinct, is that it attacks both kinds of motor neurons we talked about, the commanders and the messengers. And this creates this really strange and often confusing mix of symptoms that can happen all at once. And you can see that paradox right here. When the commanders, the UMNs, start to fail, you lose that regulation from the top down. The result? Stiffness, spasticity, really exaggerated reflexes. But at the exact same time, the messengers, the LMNs, are also failing, so the final signal never reaches the muscle, and that causes weakness, twitching, and shrinking. This weird combination of opposites, being both stiff and weak, that is the biological signature of ALS.
Okay, now we need to talk about something incredibly important. Maybe one of the most important points in this whole explainer, and that's what ALS doesn't touch. See, this is almost exclusively a disease of the motor system. So much else is left completely intact. For instance, your senses are preserved. The nerve pathways for touch, for feeling hot and cold, for pain, they're totally different, and they're not affected. You can still feel the warmth of a hand holding yours. That connection is still there. And amazingly, eye movement is also preserved. For some reason, the muscles that control our eyes are incredibly resistant to this disease. And this is it's a huge deal. Why? Because it means things like eye tracking devices can work, giving people a way to communicate, to stay connected to the world around them. And maybe most critically of all, awareness is preserved. The mind, the memories, thoughts, emotions, the person inside is still fully there, fully present. The breakdown isn't happening in the mind. So when you put all of this biology together, what's the big takeaway? What does it all mean? It really comes down to this: separating the person from the mechanics of the disease. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The breakdown is mechanical, not existential. It's not a failure of will or spirit. It's a failure of wiring. It's a disease that tragically disconnects a person's intent from their body's ability to act on it. It separates thought from movement. And that's why this matters so much. Understanding this helps us see past the body's limitations and see the person who is still there.
The brain is still creating the thoughts, the intentions. The person is still completely aware. The desire to move, to speak, to connect, it's all there. The only thing that's broken is the wiring that carries those messages.
So it leaves us with this question, doesn't it? When the body's wiring fails, how do we honor what remains? I think by understanding the biology, by replacing that mystery with clarity, we can stop focusing only on what's been lost and start focusing on the person, the awareness, and the spirit that absolutely endures.